Hi Wagwan, this is Kerriann from Kerriann's Cravings. Today in my kitchen I'm bringing the heat with my at-home version of the Jamaican jerk chicken. So here's how it's going to go down. I'm going to marinate the entire bird with some spicy jerk seasoning. Plus I'm going to add some Jamaican red stripe bear just for that added layer flavor. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this, so let's just jump right in. So I'm starting out with a whole chicken, and I'm going to go ahead and spatchcock or butterfly the chicken. And all that means is that I'm going to use a knife or a pair of scissors and remove the entire backbone of the chicken. This will allow the chicken to lay flat when you're roasting or cooking and will reduce your cooking time. Now that the entire back piece has been removed, you can either save it for your chicken stock, or if you're like me or most Caribbean people, you'll toss it in the pan and you'll cook it up and you'll enjoy it later. Now that the entire back piece has been removed, you want to turn the chicken over on its back and use both hands and press against the chest like you see here. This allows the chicken to lay flat when you're cooking or roasting. And that's it, the chicken has been spatchcocked. So before I season up my chicken, I'm going to give it a quick rinse in some lemon juice. You can also use some vinegar and water. And make sure you pat the chicken dry, and then we'll move on to our next step. I'm going to add a few heapfuls of my custom seasoning blend. I will link the ingredients list in the description box. I'm going to go in with some all-purpose seasoning, add some salt, and some black pepper. Don't worry about trying to write everything down. I will link all the ingredients and measurements in the description box for you. I'm going to add some pimento seeds. So I'm going to follow that up with the star of our show, the jerk seasoning. Yeah, man. I'm adding some fresh scallions or green onions. I'm going to add a few sprigs of thyme. Some fresh garlic. And lastly, I want to add some soy sauce. Now guys, this step is super important. You can use some gloves or go in with your hands like I'm doing here. You want to make sure that the skin and the inner cavity of the chicken is generously coated with our jerk blend. And then you want to start pulling the skin away from the meat in the breast and the thigh area. And you want to start stuffing some of that jerk blend down in those cavities. We want all this seasoning goodness to be able to penetrate our meat, because this will result in a super flavorful jerk chicken, which is what we want. Now, if you use your hands like I did, you're certainly going to want to wash your hands with some soap and some warm water to prevent cross-contamination. Then we're going to cover our meat and allow this to sit for at least 2 hours. If time allows, 24 hours is best for maximum flavor, but the choice is yours. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Now I'm using both foil and parchment paper to line my baking pan. This is a personal preference. You can use one or the other. Now, there are studies that shows that the aluminum foil can leach into your food while cooking and can cause health problems. So I try to minimize or limit direct contact when possible. So feel free to use one or the other or both. It's totally up to you. Now we're going to go ahead and place our chicken on our baking pan or in your baking tray, and we're going to bake this for 40 minutes at 375 degrees. I'm going to add the heart and the gizzard and all that stuff that came in the chicken, as well as the back that we cut out earlier, because I'm going to cook those and I'm going to eat them later. I guess it's the Jamaican in me. Just before I add this to the oven, I'm going to go ahead and add about a cup of red striped bear. This adds a really nice flavor to your jerk meats. We're going to go ahead and cover this up and bake it for 40 minutes at 375 degrees. We've arrived at the 40-minute check mark, and we're going to go ahead and baste our chicken to keep it moist. Then we're going to cover our chicken and put it back in the oven for another 20 minutes. So my baster literally cracked at the bottom and will no longer suction. So I'm going to be using my cooking spoon from now on to baste the chicken. We just make do, right? I keep it going. Minutes has passed, so we're going to go ahead and baste our chicken again, and don't worry about the color. We'll brown it up a little later. Right now I'm interested in keeping this meat super moist and make sure that it's cooked thoroughly. Now we're going to recover this and return it to the oven for another 20 minutes. So my 20-minute timer just went off, so we're going to go ahead and remove our chicken again from the oven and give her a nice baste. We want to definitely keep our bird super moist, and so it will be super juicy. Nobody likes a dry bird, so we're going to baste her up a little bit more. So we're also going to check her temperature. To check the doneness of my chicken, I'm going to go ahead and use my food thermometer. We want a minimal temperature of at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. My chicken has exceeded that, so we know it is done. If you don't have a cooking thermometer on hand, you can still check the readiness of your chicken. You can pierce the thickest part of the meat, and if the juices run clear, then you know it's ready. If it does not, if there's some pink in there, then you certainly want to give your chicken some more time to cook. We definitely want to brown this chicken up and give it some color. So we're going to stick it back in the oven at 500 degrees. We're going to leave it uncovered for 10 minutes. Just look how juicy this chicken looks. It is packed with all that exotic flavors from the Caribbean. Look, when I tell you I'm over here drooling, I am drooling over this chicken. And there you have it, my loves, my jerk spatchcock chicken. I hope you'll try this recipe and let me know how it goes. Thank you for tuning in today. And if you're new to our family, please subscribe now. Also, don't forget to give this recipe a big thumbs up, as well as hit that notification button so you're the first to be notified when a new recipe drops. It's time for me to eat, so until next time, stay blessed.